Good morning, traders. Welcome to Beyond Profile. Monday morning, the day after the Super Bowl, February 7th. We were looking at last night in our euro, did not set itself up to do what we expected it was going to do. They did bounce it close to 36.25, 21s in the European session, but we've got now continuation down. Let's take a look at the Euro daily chart here. And again, we didn't hold. There's actually two high volume nodes, and there's actually this one right here we looked at in the weekend review, 34, we'll call it 3,500. It's on the whole side here. That would put us right, there's two of them here. There's this one, and then there's this second one here at 3450s. But again, this is I'm going to be taking out those prior pivot lows. Thought maybe on Friday's closing action we would have been able to hold on and we basically closed right inside of those pivots, and but that's not going to be the case now. So this is actually coming back down a lot further than expected. But remember that we had a change of polarity area on the value system for this a while ago, because this was actually in a big old balance area, if you remember right. And as we come back down to this was a change of polarity here, because once it blew out the bottom end of this, we knew that it was going to run all the way through to the top side and start to work its way back higher. Somewhere along the line, we should expect a higher low pivot. And again, I'm thinking it's going to be right here, 35's area, somewhere in here against the top of this box, because remember, this whole value area was value to the markets. And when we came out of it, we came up, retested it, and took off. So as we come back into this would be worst case scenario, 34.75 or so. What is that? 34.63, 65. 34.65 is the high volume node there, and then there's another one right here at 30. We'll just call them 3,500. 3,500 on that. So again, it didn't do what we expected it was going to do in the overnight. We look at the 30-minute time frame. What it did accomplish was a short-term objective, and that was to rally back into the resting supply area. And like I said, in the European session, London Open, they got to 36.21s, rolled over. We should have seen a higher low pivot form in here someplace if they really were going to try to hold on to this. This has still got, weakness, if you will. Came back down this morning, looked like they were going to bounce it, and now we just made new lows again. So this is, still in a downtrend. Could it continue? I'm still, looking for some sort of a bounce out of this. It may have to go about another 20 pips or so lower here before we actually get responsive buyers to step in on this market. But we'll keep an eye on it. It just didn't play out very well in the Globex session like we thought it might have. Once they broke back below this pivot low, that was kind of a short-term weakness, if you will, for the market. All right, so here's the ES daily chart, and again, stage one. Continuation. We have to look for stage two, obviously, and then maybe we go to a 3. One of the scenarios might be is if in fact we this morning, because we are gapping up, it's about, well, we're about 4.5 points right now. If we go back to the highs, I'm going to look for supply to come into the system, only because there's been distribution going on in the overnight session. The ratio between buying and selling is more weighted to the sell side here, so that's kind of spooky. And again, we may, like I said, get a gap open here to sell into based on what we're seeing there as far as distribution occurring in the ES market. Now again, we're up higher. We're obviously higher this morning than where we were on Friday's high. Again, a gap. Not much news in the way this morning. The prior balance area that we broke out from, again, we'll call it 1300, 1298, 13s. We've come back and tested that several times. We actually tested it again on Friday and then continued higher. Again, we're in a stage one on the daily, and we have to remember that and respect that. Until that changes, all pullbacks, we continue to look to buy. Anything we short has to be short-lived, if you will, until we start getting back. If there's a failure in this new stage one, it would mean that we would come back inside of the prior stage 3, and at that point we run through the whole thing and out the other end and back down against 53.75s or so. So the ES this morning, I think what I'm going to focus in on is looking to see if this is a gap open to short into. I've got a high volume node at 1275s. All right, 1275, so to the top side. So the highs from the Globex session up here at this level, if they don't take out the 14s and we put in a lower high, we're going to look to sell this thing down, maybe with the expectation of coming back into the stage 3 here. And Again, we've got to look, again, be cautious on that if that does set itself up. But if it does pull itself back in, there'll be a little bit more aggressive, if you will, on the swing short side standpoint to come back through. Remember, we still have a gap here, too, technically to fill, 1282 and 3/4 on the ES market. So we'll see how the day sets itself up. Again, a lot of opportunity, both long and short. Remember, we're still in an uptrend. Stay with the trend until otherwise proven differently here. And then we'll be looking for stage 2 come today, maybe even to tomorrow. It depends on how we trade this morning. And again, maybe this is a gap open to exhaust the move, if you will. All right. Happy trading, everyone. We'll see you in the room.